Hey guys, what's up? Long time no update, and I know I said I was going to do an update probably like a month or two ago, but I didn't, and that's that. Anyways, today I thought we would take a look inside the one of the videos I did for anniversary, just to kind of get you brainstorming and thinking about the creative possibilities. Um, so what I did for this video was just kind of set up a fake 3D room. I've actually been getting into a lot of real 3D stuff, but today we'll just kind of keep it simple. So what I did for them was I just kind of created this room, and it has a door that swings open, and behind it, throughout the video, there's always something different, different scenery behind the door. So we'll basically just kind of set up this room again, and I'll just kind of walk you through how I did it, and just maybe to plant some seeds and see what you guys come up with. So I've got a blank composition here. I always keep my lyric videos at 720p just because I don't have the fastest computer in the world, and 720p is just fine since most of these things end up right up on the internet anyways and nowhere else. So already in Photoshop, I prepared some elements for the room. I've got some walls, floor, ceiling, and then I have a door, and I just split up the door from the door frame and the actual door itself. So those are the elements I'm going to be using. You can just Google image your own, make your own in Photoshop. That's where the fun comes in. So, okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is drag in a wall. So this will be the main back wall that has the door in it. So we're working in a 3D space, so every element that we drop in, make sure you have it checked down 3D. And before we do anything, we'll go layer, camera, we'll add a new camera, 35 millimeters is fine, and keep that on top. Then instead of moving the wall, we're just going to back the camera up, maybe -8,000, that's too far away. Just going to come in a bit. Okay, there we go. So when you're doing this stuff, it's kind of best to view it in two screens. I usually pick two views and have a top view over here. So this is the camera, and this is the wall that we've put in so far. This way, when we're designing it, you can just actually see 3D space from a top view. So before we do much else, I'm just going to set up all the walls. So basically, we're not going to build a back wall because we're never going to see it, but you could if you wanted to. But I'm just going to build the three walls. So we're just going to duplicate this wall here. I did Command D, and I'm going to hit R to rotate, and I'm going to rotate the y-axis 90 degrees. And then I'm just going to use position, press P, to move the wall over like so. And since you can see here, the wall, it doesn't really matter, but the wall is going through the wall and out the back, so we're just going to back it up in the z-axis and just kind of line it up to the start of the back wall. Okay, cool. And then we'll duplicate that side wall again, press P, and we'll drag this one over there. Kind of. There. And just for the sake of confusion, I'm going to label this right wall, and I'm going to label this one left wall, and I'm going to label this one back wall. All right, so then I also have a floor and a ceiling. So we'll drag the floor in underneath. We'll make sure it's 3D. And then we're going to rotate this one on the x-axis 90 degrees. So now it's completely parallel to the camera. And then we're just going to press P, and we're going to bring it down to about you can see if you zoom in here, once you can just move it up and down until it kind of hits the wall. Like once it hits the wall, it'll start going through it. So the second it does, I'm going to stop it there. Okay. And then, as you can see, I pulled a graphic that isn't that large, so I'm just going to hit S for scale and just bring it up, maybe like 250, and then I'm going to press P, and I'm going to move the wall back on the Z-axis. As you can see here, the floor. As you can see, this big square is the floor from a top view. So I'm just going to pull it back until it lines up with the back wall. Like so. And then basically we're just doing the exact same thing again for the ceiling element. So there's our ceiling, turn it on 3D, rotate 90 degrees on the x-axis, press P, bring it on up, bring it on up. Okay, and we're just going to scale this one up because again it's not a large graphic, maybe even a little more, 300, and then press P, and I'm going to move it back on the z-axis. As you can see, I think it's higher. Okay, yeah, so we got to bring it down until it touches the back wall. So there we go. Fit, and then okay, back to moving it back to line up with the wall. Okay, so there is a really basic room. You'll see if we move the camera around, we kind of have a 3D space, just like that. But I also have, in this video, a door that swings shut and open, so we're going to pop that in. So we can switch back to one view for now. So on this back wall here, we're going to mask out a hole in it so that we can stick the door in. So this is the mask tool here. While you're selected on the back wall, click this rectangle, and we're just going to kind of pop in a square that'll be about the size of the door, like that. Except this is masking out the opposite area that we want. So a quick thing you can do is just down here, when it creates your mask, just hit inverted, and it'll mask out the hole and leave the rest. Cool. So the reason, just for keeping it simple, if we go to position, we'll see that I left this back wall right at 0 on the z-axis. Just makes it easier for now. So what I did is, like I said, I divided the door up to a door frame and an actual door. So I'm going to pop the door frame in here and turn it onto a 3D layer. So now you can see that this door frame is in the same z-axis as the back wall, which is what we want. So we're just going to scale it down. Now I didn't mask this square to the exact right dimensions that I made the door. So, I mean, you could do that if you wanted to, if you want to be really particular, but right now I'm just going to get it close, like that, and then I'm just going to hit scale, and I'm going to unlink them, and I'm just going to kind of stretch it out until it fits. Something like that. And then we're going to just do the exact same thing with the door. So we're going to turn it onto a 3D layer. I'm going to scale it down a bit. Position. Move it over. Bring it down. And then again, this door is kind of tall, so I'm just going to unlink it and scale it a little bit. And just kind of fit it in there better. There we go. So to open the door, I'm pretty much just using the rotation tool. I'm using not that one, the y-axis, but as you can see right now, the door is rotating from the middle because that's where the anchor point is. So if you press A on the door, you'll see the anchor point, and you can actually just slide the door over until the little blue center is lined up with where you would want the door to open. So generally, hopefully most of your doors open from the side. So there we got it lined up. Press P and we'll bring it back. And then if we go to R, we rotate the y-axis, you'll see it opens like a door opens. So that's cool. So that's pretty much it. I also obviously have done some color correction and lighting and stuff. So if we go, I'll just do this quickly. If we go to layer, add a new light, let's say a spotlight for now. You can mess with all these sort of details later. But there we go. So we added a spotlight. Already looks way cooler, even though we're just seeing a door. So I'm going to back this up on the z-axis a bit, like this, and maybe drag it down. So this is really just lighting the back wall. I think in mine I have a couple lights. I have a point light as well as a spotlight. So you'll see if I turn off this. So I have a spotlight that's lighting up the chandelier at the top. And then I have a point light that's just doing an overall room light. So I'm actually just going to copy this light. But that's the thing. You can just set up your lights however you want. And mess around with them. Lighting is fun. So you see we can kind of like change the intensity. There we go. And I'm just going to bring in this spotlight a bit. There we go. So then I think for the other stuff for the rooms, I just sort of, if you go to layer, new adjustment layer, this layer will affect all the layers below it. So I think I just did some simple, for this room, I think I just did, I desaturated it completely, and then I might have gone to levels and just kind of crushed it a lot. Crush the blacks and maybe open up the whites a little bit, something like that. So we're getting close to this look. I obviously spent a little more time on it. But yeah, that's the basics of it. And then you can just kind of add in whatever you want behind. So I have this scary room hallway texture. So I just pop that in behind all these. So if we go back to our 2 view, there we go, scary room, make it a 3D layer. And then this one's also at the 0. So essentially it's lined up with the door, but if the door opens, it's not going to look like there's actually a 3D space. So I actually back the wall up, as you can see here, further away, and then scale it up a bit because it's kind of small, something like that. And then if we go back here and we swing our door open, you'll see the room behind it. And if we go to the camera and press P and zoom in on it, you can see it kind of looks like a 3D space going into another room. So yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. That's what I did to get started on this video. Obviously there's a lot more to it, but I just thought I would do a quick video on showing you how to set this up and just get your creative juices flowing. I promise I will come back and do more tutorials sooner than later. Thanks for watching.